Hi there, and welcome to the Cult of Cinema. I am Aaron. If you're joining me here for the first time, well, welcome to the Cult of Cinema. If you're not, then always just make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe button, all that type of jazz, because we are not just going to be talking about the future of collecting and the future of cinema. We are going to be talking about the future of the Cult of Cinema, the channel, which hits its 10th year. Hey there, William. Welcome, man, this year. And I'm often hesitant to talk about that, to talk about the channel itself and the future of the channel. I do try to go behind the scenes with you guys, actually. Hey there, Sierra, welcome, man. But I got a couple comments actually after I did my video yesterday from a couple of people. Hey, let's go physical. Hey, Alan, welcome, man. And I was asked, but before I do that, part of this video here is inspired by Man V Film. His video on the state of boutique label really got me thinking. And I followed that up by watching Cyril Midnight's video where he was talking about just having too much stuff right now and not knowing what to do. And that also got me thinking. And a couple comments that I received, and I won't say who, but I appreciate them. Uh, last night, really, again, got me pondering things today, and I really want to make this video and kind of do a lot with it. Hey there, Baru. Hey there, Strangeland. So I've been doing this here for 10 years. Over the last 2 years, though, really more so, I've been trying to do my best to eventually make this my thing. And if anybody's ever done YouTube or any of this type of stuff, you know how hard that can be and how much work time that does take. And I've been trying to this video this month alone, and it's the 14th of the month. I have put out I have filmed over 20 videos for my Patreon channel, and none of them are out. There's a bunch more that I have to put out over the next couple of weeks, and I still haven't finished filming. I still have a Best of 2021 award show to do. And that's the thing, that it is worth doing, but is still work for me. And I wanted to take this time at the beginning of this video, like really, hey there, Mr. Tony, welcome out, because I haven't done this enough. And I have to do this, and I'm going to be bluntly honest. I want to thank my supporters, my Patreon my Patreon supporters, and my donators, because without you, this channel would not have made it to 10 years, to go on for 10 years. And as a YouTuber, I'm kind of, I come on here and I sometimes feel a little bit nervous to say, there's a Patreon link, or support the channel, or donate, or put a thumbs up. And as somebody mentioned to me yesterday, you're kind of devaluing yourself when you do that. When you say that you feel bad to do that. And I have on my side, unfortunately, a little bit been devaluing myself and devaluing my channel. And I don't want to do that when I'm going forward. I don't want to be ashamed of the fact that this is a job for me. That as much as I love it, as same with any other content creator, whether it's somebody that's writing a book or filming a TV show or doing a film, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. Hopefully you can see we have really bad weather here, by the way. So I just wanted to say that before I went on. So if you're a Patreon supporter, thank you so much. If you've ever went into my merchandise store and bought merchandise, I 100% appreciate it. If you're somebody that's come on here and you've donated or you super chatted, you're one of the reasons the channel's still going. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because this is 10 years. And I'm still working to try to make this a full-time thing, and I will continue to do so. And I will move away from like people that detract and say, don't do that. Or when I started doing this, well, you're selling out. That and try to work more towards the people that are positive and supportive. So there you go. That's my thing. I just want to thank everybody that's helped out over the years, because you have no idea how much you're doing. You have no idea how much you mean. You have no idea. And some of you do, because I'm bluntly honest when it comes on this channel. And we will get to the topic at hand. I do apologize. I'm bluntly honest when something is going on, like going on behind the scenes. I bring you guys in, and I'll let you guys know. And I'll let you guys know behind the curtain, not just when it comes to life stuff and all that type of stuff, but when it comes to doing a channel. If you ever wanted to do one yourself, I try to be open for when people ask me about that. So never feel like that you can't ask me like any questions with that. And if there's any type of like kind of delay, or if there's any glitching here, we're in the middle of a big windstorm, but I had to talk, and I really wanted to talk to you guys. And I really want to get your thoughts on this. I will be putting up a link, actually, for the merch store, 10% off here in the chat in a little bit. But right now, what I want to talk to you guys about today, now that we got all that house cleaning out of the way, and again, like, share, subscribe, hit the Patreon button. There's hours upon hours. There's like, yeah. At this point, there's definitely, with the live streams and all that stuff, we're hitting on over like 100 hours or so with of Patreon content, including we got a watch along there with my better half with Dracula versus Frankenstein. I've done reviews and shows with my cousin as well. And you know what's going to happen too? When I do the podcast, and I've done one of the episodes, which is not out yet, but we're doing a couple more like later on this month, and those will be going for the first month to Patreon and Patreon only, and you will be able to find them only there. Hey there, Olivia. Hey there, Morgan. Welcome. Hey, Dustin, Chris. So yeah, it's been really windy here, so I do apologize. I can look at my screen right here, and I can see that, like, although I'm using a really nice camera today, because it is really kind of glitchy and catchy, so I do apologize. What I wanted to talk about today was something that MV Film was talking about earlier on, and I wanted to it really got me thinking about where we go now, like as collectors, where the labels are going, and where they can go. The changes that we've seen, especially over the last year, we've seen a lot of changes over the last year, and my collection. Hey there, Maddie. My collection mostly is downstairs. I have two rooms. I've got my basement converted into a movie library, and I have a second room in my basement that's converted into just for TV shows alone. And here I just have more kind of collectors stuff, like display cases here, display case there, a smaller like cabinet upstairs, and I'm totally running out of like space in that. Dense welcome, man. Hey, Scudder. But a lot. I probably at this point over 10,000 and counting that I know of. It's probably more than that. It's well, here today it's been really hard because we've had like insanely windy weather to the point where I brought some garbage out earlier on, but it was just like light garbage, like kind of like recycling. And so I didn't know the weather was bad, and I looked out the window and I saw this garbage bag like just going down the road. Hey, Heroic, welcome, man. And I was like, wait a second, that looks like my garbage bag. Open the door. It's like super windy outside. Thank you, Strange, and I really appreciate that. And you are someone that actually is one of my Patreon supporters as well. So, man, you back it up, and I 100% appreciate it. So I went running down the road to grab the garbage bag. So I grabbed the garbage bag. I come back home, I put it right behind, like the just behind the house. I'm thinking, okay, that'll be fine. Come back in. 10 minutes later, Anne's looking outside because we're doing like some cleaning. We're doing house cleaning today. And she looks at the door and she's like, is that the garbage bag? I'm like, it can't be. It can't be the garbage bag. So I look outside. It's the damn garbage bag. So I go back and I bring it all the way around the house and then I take another bag, put it right on top of it. And I'm like, it's YouTube. Okay. I was worried to make the video tonight because of that. Anyway, so the garbage bag scenario aside, Man vs. Film did a Man v Film did a video, and I really recommend checking it out. It's only like 6 or 7 minutes long, very short, very good, very concise, very to the point. On like me, I did actually. I shaved my head. I know it's a good topic actually for 15 years. A lot of people don't like some people on the channel know that, but would it would make you look younger? Very much so. But here is the thing. Hey there, Daz. Welcome, man. Here's the thing. Now, not only does it make me look younger, but it makes me look a little bit like rougher as well. When I met my better half, now my head was shaved at the time. My head was shaved. I had a goatee. I had like this earring in, and I used to wear this big leather motorcycle jacket. So not what you're expecting me. I'm guessing. Anywho, so when I first did that, she was like, let's see if you can grow your hair out a bit. And I didn't know why at first, and so I grew it as much as I can. Look at me. I have hardly any hair. But for a while until I got old, started to lose more as you get older. It did grow out. But she eventually told me that one of the reasons she wanted me to grow my hair out for as long as I could was because I looked a bit scarier with my head shaved. So for those of you that are over in the UK, maybe, or are a fan of like daytime soaps, for instance, I kind of like a Mitchell brother. So, for those that know what EastEnders is, kind of like a Mitchell brother at the beginning of the show, kind of like that. Christmas hat. Somebody sent me a Christmas hat. Like I got asked, I'm not sure it was. Somebody sent me a message said, "Hey, are you going to keep your hat on, like your hat for your Halloween hat until you're going to retire it until next Halloween?" If somebody sends me, anybody want to send me a Christmas evil Halloween hat or a Silent Night Deadly Night hat, I will proudly wear it on here. Do it, and I'll do that too. Does she like the rough look? Apparently not. Or she let me shave it because I've often thought about doing it actually. We were going to do it together actually for cancer like about 2 years ago, and because she said, "I'm thinking about shaving my head for for like the for cancer research," and I said, "Well, if you shave yours, I'll shave mine too." Man, I wish, man. I don't look like Vin Diesel. I look like a Mitchell brother. I really, that's really how. It's the best way I can put it. I come across. It was, and I've said it on here before. I was going into a Walmart one day, and it was when my head was shaved. I was taking off my leather jacket, and when I did, it was the first time that I didn't notice this. This old guy that was like standing, just happened to stand next to me, flinched, and he thought I was going to hit him. But I was just taking my jacket and putting it into a cart. So. And I'm not, in any stretch of the imagination, any sort of badass. There's no hats available on the store, actually, unfortunately. For the like, I go through through Spring, Warlock, and Spring doesn't have any hats. That's one of the things I wanted most. I wanted to do like a series of hats called Cinema Hat. I wanted to do like a Futures Franco hat, and there's a couple others that I want to do. So I'm not sure. I'm still looking in to that because I had a lot of people ask for hats. But then again, I had people ask me for hoodies, called Cinema hoodies. And I made called Cinema hoodies. Not one person's bought one. And when Spring reached out to me earlier on this, around 2 months ago, because the pricing, it's down for me, was going up. I kept my pricing down. Call the comic shirts are coming. It's not just you. It's across the board. Like I'm going to try and refresh the page here and see if you guys can see me. So like on my side here, like I got an error occurred message just a second ago. So you're not the only one. I'm but yeah, so I just had to refresh too. So it's not just like you guys. Uh, like basically, I saw it went down here too, so I had to refresh it on mine, and actually a lot better now, even though that's refreshed. um. Anyway, so I was going to get into this. I had some people leave. People left when I. People always like awkwardly leave when I talk about like behind the scenes stuff. Um, but honestly, that's my channel. So you're gonna get lots of like really cool movie content. But sometimes you gotta wait. Sometimes you gotta be patient. You know, patience is a virtue. That's the that's the type of thing that we always gotta remember. That's the killer part of stuff like that. The hell? Hey Vanessa. Oh my god, what the hell's going on with this right now? We had one of those kind of scammer people come in. So I just had to like hide the message. I've been I have been kind of pimping out the channel. That's what I've been doing. So let's talk about about the future of boutique Blu-ray collecting. Let's talk about it. Man v Film started this conversation. Uh, I'm gonna continue it, and I'm gonna continue it now because it's something that we got to talk about. Where do you guys think film is right now, like as in collecting wise? In like from 2021 from 2020 to 2021 and going forward, you feel like pretty confident about it? You feel like pretty solid? Thank you, Ringo. That's actually what I like. Because I'm gonna use probably the most popular boutique label company that's on the go, and that's Finger Center. And Vanessa, I agree. We have reached a peak in collecting, and like was mentioned before, uh, we've had a golden age when it comes to collecting physical media. I'll look into that, man. Look, I'll see what I can do about bigger size shirts. I know disconnected. What's disconnected? Well, disconnected. Everybody's bigger than me. I'm like a scrawny little dude. Like stock market dog, the future. So no, I do think that we have reached a point where it's not so much that it's a glut or that it's going to disappear or go down or anything like that. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about like physical media going away. We're talking about that golden age that we just literally went through about a year or two ago, where you saw big, gigantic releases that are coming up. There's still a couple big ones. There's a couple that I have to keep under my hat that I know about that I can't talk on this channel about that are coming up in the next year or two. But there's for by far and large, we have seen kind of it's yeah. There's the thing where like, it's finding new content this year, and I want to take Vinegar Syndrome as an example because I think it's a good one because basically there's a company that has done amazing stuff and has a great rapport with their audience. People wonder about all the partner labels, and some people will say like, partner labels or something, whether there's a company, there's a distribution company, they work the distribution company and that gets the partner labels. The partner labels get on there. Hey there, Dip Pit Man, welcome. But they need the partner labels right now too, because there are some months, and it's not just Vinegar Syndrome, it's across the board when you just can't. There's only so many great lost movies that you're going to find before you're polishing up movies that aren't super great, but they might be okay last movies. There's only so much. There's the well only runs so deep, and we've already seen like diving into 4K so that we can basically kind of extend the length that we're going into that well. Scream Factory has done it. Blue Underground have done it extremely well. I have no problem with it. But it's the one thing to understand is that there's only so much. And for like a lot of the really great content, a lot of the really amazing stuff that we've seen, like Ken and Company is a good example because that's a kind of a fun little cool niche title, and that people want to see out. But the days of Alone in the Darks and Fade to Black and kind of films like that, and even like the really great Jallos, even like the really great Jallos, um, a lot of that's been done. The only thing for a lot of this stuff we can do is find as much other stuff as we can find, and at the same time, not try not to mind the well too much that that we're going out. This here, I talked about this one a lot. This was what I consider one of the big botches for Vinegar Syndrome last year. It was for many different reasons. There's a reason they're not talking about it this year, and it's not just because they haven't got the negatives in yet. It's because I'm going to guess this didn't sell that well. But can I really blame them when it comes to something like this? Where else did they go? Like they did the Ruben Glauder Jr. films. Uh, they took a shot. The well, it's only so deep. They took a shot with these. Was it a good move? That's not for me to say. I mean, I don't think so. But they took a shot. They went out and they maybe overextended by going, okay, we're going to get this, we're going to go all in, and expected, like a big like swell because they thought, oh, Ruben Galando Jr. is going to work. Then I guess Rene Cardona Jr. is going to work as well. Unfortunately, uh, that's not always the case, and I really like these films. I really do. I'll watch them again and again. But you know what I won't do? Call them Jello. And even if like we are gonna like stretch the limits of what a Jello is and consider these Jello, there's not really great Jello. It's okay. It's not. This is not an Argento. This is not a Martino. This is not a Ledo. I'm not. I watched a little bit of this one right here. No, this is their next one, their biggest chance. I think this one's going to pay off for them actually. But it wasn't for me. I didn't dig it. I love the actor Anthony Wong, but I love him in other films, man, like Hardball. Not in that one. It is really gross, but it's meant to be really gross. What's wrong with Cardona Collection? You might, if you like it, home nothing's wrong with it. But it didn't do very well for them, from what I can assess, and I could be wrong in that. It's just there, definitely a lot of animal cruelty in the film. There's, lots of it, and pretty much the a bunch of it is just really boring. Like it's a film. There were films that needed like an editor and needed around like 10 to 15 minutes taken off of each of the films. But that's me. Like that's the thing. I did not like the Ebola syndrome. I couldn't finish it, and I'll probably watch the rest of it again with commentary on because I just wasn't interested. But when I say that 100% acknowledging I'm in a minority when it comes to that. Yeah, the box set was a bit of a gamble, but they're at the point I think right now where they got to do that. And it's not just Vinegar Syndrome. Like, don't think I'm just picking on Vinegar Syndrome. because they put out a lot of really great stuff. Vinegar Syndrome is a great company. They do, like, I can say right now, like, when it comes to companies that are kind of upfront and they get your films to you in the right time, and they advertise well, and they're good with their customers, they're amazing. If I could get the Vinegar Syndrome, if I had the money, if I had the bones to get the Vinegar Syndrome subscription again, totally would have done it. Totally would have done it. So don't think, like, don't in any way think I'm knocking Vinegar Syndrome. I was just using them kind of like as a microcosm, but we'll dive out into other companies as well. When it comes to things like, when you're looking at things like the foreign releases, like Warlock mentioned, so there's a lot of foreign releases that are out there. But are there, like, really, really great ones that are out there? There's good ones. There's some really fun ones, but Mono Macabre's put out quite a few. 88 Films. We've had other companies that's put out some really good releases. Arrow Films are putting out consistently on basis, whether it's be spaghetti westerns, their Shawscope box set are really kind of starting to mine those wells, because at this point they have to take the chance. They have to mine those wells. Severin has gone all in with their box sets. They've gone all in. It's their L. Adamson. That could have failed. That could have failed miserably. It did really well for them. Then Andy Milligan, which was an even bigger chance, did really well as well, but didn't do quite as good as Al Adamson, but still did amazingly well. Then there's stuff like the Euro Crypt of Christopher Lee, which, and what I think is their best that they've done is the folk horror box set. But that Severin could very well, like, bet big on a box set too, and it could come across like a Cardona set. Oh, no company out there, Criterion or BFI or Eureka or 80 Films or any company is out of the loop when it comes to this. When Vinegar Syndrome were picking up things like Fade to Black, or Vinegar Syndrome was picking movies like Trauma. I know not everybody loves Trauma. Those were safe bets. But Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, Criterion, all the companies across the board right now really, really are starting to say, okay, what do we do? Like, where do we go from here? Like, which way do we take it? And more companies are going to be taking chances. And sometimes those chances are going to land. Like the Shawscope, that lands. But the Cardona set, it didn't land, and that's okay, because Vinegar Syndrome is a popular enough company. You know what? That's a blip on their radar. They'll lose a little on that one. They'll make up on other things. They've done some great stuff, and I'd want to see it like that. I think you're going to have some people waiting for the Black Friday, Andreas. So I'm a subscriber until January. So I've already got my Black Friday releases. Obviously, I showed you your Bola Center here. And my partner labels are in. They're still in Ontario, so they were picked up in Toronto, and they've been processed just to Mississauga. So I should hopefully get the partner label sometime next week. Oh, the Witch. I'm not sure about the Witch's bundle, but I know that the box sets of some of the boxes have shipped. Want to mention Indicator? Indicator, in my opinion, is the company that's done it best. Indicator, for a lot of these companies right now, they've been around for a few years. And companies like Severin, companies like Vinegar Syndrome. I did, yeah. So I set it up with my with Canada Post, so that not only do I get like a notice from Vinegar Syndrome, but anytime that, hey there, Jeff, welcome, man. Anytime anytime I get anything posted to me at all with my name attached to it, I'll get a message from Canada Post letting me know that I got something on the way. if you, I know it's available in the U.S. too because my friend Brian Sauer from Just So This does that. Indicator has their identity down. They know exactly what they're doing. Um, that's the thing. But there's going to come a time an indicator are going to look and say, okay, what are we putting out next year? What's our schedule going to be like? What are we going to do? The Black Manual box set is still happening, Jay. They found more stuff for the box set, so it's going to be a bigger box set than than I think we're expecting. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming next year, unless no, hopefully it should be coming next year. So the Black Manual box set should be coming next year. For those that mentioned the Nunsploitation set, so if you're into Nunsploitation, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a really good set. I don't have it yet, but I do know all the films in that set. And I know the way that Severin does this stuff, so I expect it to be an impeccably done set. That's the killer. When you're looking at like when Severin is doing like these sets, and they got all these like this bonus stuff, like maps and decals and stickers and like all that type of stuff. Then when you buy that, then you have to know that sometimes that's going to make things a little bit later. When last year when the Fade to Black thing happened, I bought the Fade to Black. I bought both T-shirts because I'm a huge Fade to Black fan, right? So, but there was a delay on one of the Fade to Black T-shirts, so I waited extra long to get my releases come because of that. And when you're ordering, and you're ordering with like something like a bundle or something that has other things like T-shirts or hats or posters or anything, unless they let you know ahead of time that it's on hand, there is always going to be a bit more of a potential for wait when it comes to those items. So whenever you're ordering and you're ordering more than the film, just know it may take longer of a wait time for something like that. See, I don't think Irreversible is really straying. I do agree with the Mexican films. I'm absolutely flabbergasted and excited about those. But Irreversible is like, for me, like Indicator is what Criterion, or what people used to think Criterion was. It's a film school in a box. So when you look at Indicator, and often you're looking at a lot of like really, really good films, really, really important films. And and Irreversible is one of those films. It was amazing. I don't know how many times I can watch Irreversible because it wrecked me, man. But Irreversible was an important film. It was an extremely well done film. It was well acted. It was well shot. It was so well written that you're shaken by Irreversible. Some people watched Irreversible like could not watch it again. So it sticks within like Indicator's criteria of like putting out some really good films, and with the Mexican films as well, putting out some really challenging films, some really different stuff, stuff that I'll be honest with you, I can't wait to get. The the main companies like I can tell you right now excites me on a regular basis when I get their stuff. Yo, Stunned, welcome, man. Is Indicator. Indicator still really excites the movie lover in me. There's a few labels that do. Indicator is one of them. Umbrella's been putting out the World Cinema and the Central Cinema recently. Sex with Yen is coming out. Actually, Sex with Yen is coming out next month. And or is it this month? And I was excited about that. But so yeah, there's certain companies that really like 110% like grab me right now, and just you're excited about these releases. These are ones that you're really gonna like, ones that are gonna mean something to you. I love, I never ever thought about it signed off. Oh, the Cult of Cinema's logo would be if I was just doing initials, but holy crap, you're right. Imprint is hard for me to really tell. Imprint's newer. Imprint's an Australian one. They put out a lot of interesting stuff, and they go in between putting out some really cool stuff and some what I would consider some very much some cult stuff. I won't go too much into everyone. By the way, I have just, if you're not a patron, just to let you guys know, there's a patron link down there. I actually do uh, detailed uh, report card for every single label on that's come out, and so I'm not quite sure if I got Mondo's in yet. I think I got Mondo's. I'm gonna film Mondo's later on tonight, actually. So, little peek behind the scenes um, is that I do my regular job. Then I come here and I either watch or research stuff. So I'm at this desk a lot, and then eventually I make videos, and sometimes by 4 o'clock in the morning I pass out. I like to buy indicator stuff from Indicator right now, but I would buy it from. I do recommend, like, if you go to your local like brick and mortar place and they're selling films. They're selling movies. Sometimes they'll be a little bit more expensive. You go to your Sunrise. You're in Canada. You go to Sunrise Records, for instance, or a base Street Video, or Cinema One. Often they are a bit pricier than they would be if you were to go and grab them on maybe Amazon or online if you look around enough. But with all that being said, I make it a concentrated effort to, whenever I'm in a town that has a brick and mortar store, for instance. Um, I don't think they've reached to the level of indicator yet, but they're getting there. Uh, that I will always buy something from the store. I do, because I know it's going to cost more, because there's an overhead cost to running a store. A store has like as overhead fees as well. Um, yeah, you get import fees, you get hit with customs. Say Warlock, like I do all the time. I get hit with customs fees, so it doesn't get any cheaper. Like in the long run, people think it's going to be cheaper. Sometimes it is, other times it's not. But support your local brick and mortar stores. Don't go into a brick and mortar store, for instance, and bitch about the prices, because yes, they're going to be different. Yes, they're going to be a bit more expensive. But you know what? There was a time when you were glad to pay those prices just to be able to go into a store and find those films. And the more and more people that go into a store and complain about the prices and come out with nothing, the less and less of these type of stores we are going to have. And eventually, when brick and mortar stores, when there's hardly any brick and mortar stores doing this type of stuff, they're going to be kind of like little mom and pop places. There's going to be kind of like niche places that do it. That's what there's going to be. And you're going to be looking online, and you know what's going to happen then. The price that you weren't willing to pay in that store that you just went into and you came out of with nothing, that's what the price is going to be online, because now they realize you don't have anywhere else to go. That's I'll spend it. Man, I live by these. Exploitation classics. If you're not collecting these, like Man from Hong Kong is coming out too. I think I got that one. I should have that one coming soon. But Stunt Rock, Grant Page, awesome. uh, the Sherlock Vault set. I saw that from Cyril Minute's channel, actually. Was it on his channel? Or was it on one of his on Instagram? I know Cyril Minute had that. Scepter Shaolin, nice. See, there you go. There's 80 Films is a good example of a company that's managed to find its way when it comes to this. You've managed to look at the stuff. Yeah, I like it. Well, I've talked on here before, and on my Patreon channel, I've actually going. I dive deep into, if you're a patron and you have not watched my video on Kino, watch it, because I get asked why I sometimes go silent on Kino releases, on certain Kino releases, and I never really talk about it on my main channel, but there's a whole big story behind it. And now some of you guys know. Hey, Dungeon Studio. Yeah, that's the thing. If I can find something like in the stores that I really want, like when I picked up like I picked up indicator titles of Bay Street Video. So Warlock lives in the area where he can go to Bay Street on a regular basis. Uh, so what I when I was getting the I remember the name in a second. The William Castle sets. I picked both William Castle sets at Bay Street Video. I picked up I think what might have been one of my Hammer sets at Bay Street Video. I picked up the Bodker set. Oh, they burnt me. You know, I don't have the Kinky collection yet. El Ideal Iglesias. I'm interested in it though. Glad you liked it, man. Did you like the dialogue? Because that's what stood out for me. Was Flesh Pot on 42nd Street was the dialogue. Cause amazing freaking dialogue in that one. But I have not yet seen the Kinky collection. I thought I may have seen them years ago. What I did, and you guys can here. I'm going to tell you this right now. This is where I kind of want your guys' opinion. I didn't tier my Patreon because I wanted people that came in and could only afford $1 a month, and people that could come in and afford $5 a month, not to feel like they weren't going to get the same level of like they weren't going to be able to watch the videos. So some people go in and they get confused and they think that means that that I've got a higher Patreon. Some people take advantage of it and they'll put in like a really low, the low ball it. And some people, that's just is what you can do, and that's what I say is I haven't tiered it for that particular reason, but I've been thinking about tiering it a bit, but I don't want anybody to feel like if they're at a $1 level, they're not going to be able to see movies or not see videos that people at a $5 level can. So I'm still working on that. That's the thing. The thing for me is I love doing this, and eventually this is what I want to be doing, and be able to spend as much time as I can with you guys, doing a lot more live videos, doing a lot more like pre-tape stuff, like really kind of doing some editing and working on some stuff. But that takes time, and it takes money to get this camera. It cost me money that I couldn't afford. Actually, that was an out of pocket thing. But I had a lot of comments basically saying that my video camera on my computer wasn't that great, which is true. You met Tia Carrera? Oh man, she must have been like shooting Relic around that time, right? Oh yes, I should have read the rest of your sentence. But I haven't tiered it because that tiers were a block to certain people. But I am thinking about tiering it and just finding a way to tier it so that everybody feels still is that it's inclusive. I would not know what to say. Like that would be like my better half when she was living in New York, and she was going to school there, and she got in the elevator, and like David Bowie and Amon was there, and she couldn't speak. I get that. Like I get that. There's rare times that I can't speak. Um, well, the thing is, at the end of the day, Warlock, I don't think that's the problem with Patreon. That it's literally has to do with you know I could understand if there's like you got to reach like a $5, $10 to get in there to give something a chance. But I'm willing to bet you're Canadian, a coffee shop, you're Tim Hortons, or Starbucks if you're me and you're like your peppermint mocha, right? You spend more than that on a on your coffee, and you take your chance that you know what the coffee's gonna. I'm gonna try this coffee, and maybe you go to your Starbucks. You're like, I'm gonna try. I normally get my peppermint mocha. Today I'm gonna try a creme brulee latte, and sometimes you'll like the creme brulee latte, and you're like, what, I'm gonna get that again sometimes. But if you don't like it, you go, this kind of sucks. I don't want that. Then so you don't go back and get it again. But you spent like $7, and nobody complains. Thank you, Vanessa. Oh, uh, that's what we do, and like at the end of the day, and people can tell you like if you're even when you're monetized or demonetized on here, and I get demonetized a lot, but even when I was monetized, I don't have like a huge channel, so if I get like 500 views on a video or 1,000 views on a video, like my good friend Heath, I can tell you right now, that's 6 cents or 7 cents, and it takes a long time for that to reach $100. But you know what I mean, right? Well, the thing is that there's enough here, I think, and I do enough live videos that that basically there's enough people that know who I am. Hey there, Mike. Welcome, man. Hey there, Richard. Um, Feel free to take advantage of it. Like SJ, we're going to be doing like a live video soon. I had planned. I thought about doing it today, but it was too last minute. Yo, Kiri, welcome, man. It was too last minute to actually do the live Patreon today. So I'm thinking Saturday. I'm thinking Saturday for the next live video. But I've been here for Warlock now for almost 10 years. So if you can't figure that, if somebody can't come to my channel and figure out my content on my Patreon might be worth it, that might be, maybe I may not have got them anyway. I've been lucky enough that I've been able to have like some good friends, uh, like uh, like uh, like Heath from Serial Midnight. Really, really great guy, sweetheart, by the way. Uh, oh no, I understand. I get what you mean. That I've been able to like. I've been on his channel before. I've been on with Cinema Dave, who's also a very very nice guy. Been on like Justice, Cobwebs, and VHS podcast. So luckily, there's people have been able to find me over the years. And recently, I was on Region Free, which is a podcast that because it was a video kind of vlog that vlogcast, I guess that Piswell hosts and Piswell hosts. And if you haven't seen it, it's really really good. Number of viewers subscribe, but not just viewers. It started out just like with this certain the way that it used to work. A little peek behind the curtain. So if anybody here is thinking about getting a YouTube channel or they've got a YouTube channel and they're wondering about this, it started out when I started doing a channel. Nice, over halfway there. That's amazing. Yeah, it's hard to do unboxing sometimes. That's the problem when you don't have when there's not a lot like to do. But it's gonna be hard next year. But I'm gonna try and get as much in as I can. I'm gonna be doing some different types of unboxings as well. So for people that like indicator stuff and Criterion and kind of BFI Eureka stuff, you may and 88 films, you may kind of find this a bit more fun. Thank you, Razorman. Welcome. Welcome to the Crimson Cult. Uh, But basically, the way it is when I started doing my videos, they had to be under 15 minutes long. So if I wanted to talk on a topic that was over 15 minutes, I couldn't. I would have to like end the video and then this was before live was around, and then you had to like do a second or third or fourth part of the video. I had some videos back then were like 6 or 7 parts. They were like collection videos. Giveaways are hard. I found that out early on. Giveaways are much harder than you think. So whenever I do like when I reach like I say I'm at like 3,300. My next giveaway will probably be at 4,000. Hey, I'm nice. Welcome, man. Nice. Congratulations, Maddie. First published words. That is awesome. So eventually, I was able to do like longer videos, and then it came about that I could actually do live videos. And then I got the notification that I could monetize my videos. And I was like, "Oh my god. It Here it comes." Like I'm actually going to make money on my videos. I actually do. I'm doing what's called the Culty Awards. My best of 2021 is called. I'm not joking. It's called the Culty Awards. It's on the Patreon channel. It's not yet, but it's going to be there. So you'll see it. Yes. See, there you go. You come onto my channel, good things happen. You got to understand when we say he makes a living, he's not lying. That is so. What a lot of us here, like if I was in like Morocco right now, that would be what I would be doing. And when we say we make a living, we don't mean it's not PewDiePie making a living. It's if we're lucky enough that we either have something else on the side or if that's what we're doing totally, and say we're like our better half works too, and between us we make a decent wage. Uh, but most of the time, like for a regular content creator, when you're going to do it, you're going to understand that's you're going lean. You're until like something unless something really takes off, things are going to go lean. So the fact that if you're able to get like if you're a movie person and you have to get like companies like to send you stuff to review to unbox and stuff like that, that's needed because you can afford at the like Heath cannot afford basically at just living on Patreon to go out and buy every single film that he wants. So he works his butt off to make like the right connections and to do things. He Heath, Brian, guys like that. I can tell you right now, some of the hardest working people on our platform, and you get people out there that like do a ton of stuff that do like that do like they'll be like they have their Twitch streams and they'll be like really big and popular and famous. But you got guys like Heath and that. You got guys like Brian Sauer. You got the guys like middle of medium people like that. You know what? They're working their asses off for a fraction, just a fraction of what like what a mainstream YouTuber. I do look like Matt Frewer. I get that a lot actually. But the one difference though is see this. If I take out this beard, I got no chin. Matt Frewer's got a great chin. So he's got one up on me, man. I used to get that I sound like Matt Frewer. That's what I used to get. That's what you gotta do, man. Go to the door. But yeah, those guys do amazing work, and I'm trying to like to go there as the best I can. Like God, Heath and Brian are so busy right now that uh, we would not be able to. That's like I haven't been on like Brian's like just to this podcast in a while. I started to feel like that maybe like for a while I was like, man, does Brian not like me anymore? Is that it? And then I thought about it. Brian does like a YouTube channel, just this and pure cinema podcast all the time. Like Brian really has time. Yeah, if my head was still shaved, it would rock the max. Actually, I was Popeye this year. Yeah, the man who receives, and people like talk about that. Oh, Heath is a serial midnight raiser. Great channel. So, but it's not like Heath has never been the guy that's had things handed to him. Heath's hustled and worked hard to get where he's got, and you can tell him I said that. Thank you, Vanessa. And you know what? That's what started this whole video in the first place. Was somebody told me offline yesterday that I was underselling myself. Sure. I am a supervisor. I can't mention the company, of course, for reasons. And it's not exactly a well-paying job, but and the no Master Chaos is a filmmaker. He writes and he makes films, and obviously that's something too where there's times in between that that can be it can be a bit tight. But yeah, so I get yelled at a lot, especially this time of year, and that's and I'll be honest with you, it stresses me, man. This is the worst time of year for me. I get I dread my job. I dread getting up in the morning and going to it. And it's not that it's that like the people are fantastic that I work with. They're great people, and I'm not just doing a poor me thing. I don't want it to come across like that. It's just that this time of year is really hard in the job that I work in. Everybody usually in a job, especially in this type of stuff. He has directed movies. He's written movies as well, and he's got a movie now coming out in theaters. So make sure you check that out. So he actually mentions it on one of his videos, and I'm very proud of him. Films at home. Another guy that works really hard on this stuff. You want to look at 4K stuff. You want to see like 4K stuff. The amateur filmies. There are so many. I could go on and on. Like I could just go on and make this a shout out video and go on and on about like all the great people. I've been at this job now for longer than I was supposed to be done. I was supposed to be um, to working on this channel permanently with and doing some teaching. Uh, exactly, yeah. In a way, it does get let me vent some stuff out there. Where like I get myself in there, so I apologize if that gets a little bit tedious. Um, but I didn't expect to be here this year, but things happen in the world like nobody expected it. Oh yeah, there's a lot of his movies on DVD. He did a shark one that I think I got it somewhere. I didn't know that was him actually because I didn't get the name uh, with the uh, with the film, but I actually got a couple of his movies there. No, could not afford to pick a Venom 2 yet, though. I have did I see that one? I think I saw part of it. Oh yeah, as long as it doesn't get too, as long as it doesn't take you over. Like you don't want to vent too much. Nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch a guy bitching and complaining too much. Like unless it's the and like it's like the ang. What's his name again? Uh, Not the angry video game nerd, but the other guy, Angry Joe, right? Angry Joe. Like if your gimmick is like Angry Joe or AVGN, then you can do that type of stuff. Or you're like the ones that I don't like so much anymore. I tried to watch a video of about the new Black Christmas movie. It came out a couple years ago. It was done by Cinema Snob and Nostalgia Critic. I don't recommend it. It's freaking painful to watch. It is painfully bad. No, no, it's oh man, Jesse. For you don't if you don't know, uh, over this because like one, I bought this hat when I was with my mom this year, and it's got kind of good memories to it. And my hair's messed up like crazy, so I got until I get my hair cut, you're not gonna see me with unless I'm really got my hair good off camera. Lewis Black's amazing with that type of stuff, man. I love Lewis Black. Well, aside from the other stuff with Nostalgia Critic, it was a Sleepy Hollow video that really got to me. But no, I'm not a fan at all of the director of this film. Actually, I've talked about it a couple of times. Haunted Whaley House, I got that one here. Blood Brothers, I don't know if I got Blood Brothers or not. There, see, anytime that I forget that one, I've got epilepsy, and two, I didn't used to be able to talk on a regular basis. Like I'll stutter or something like that, and I'll be like, yeah, there it is, it's still there. Then don't vent on people, vent to people. Do you work in human resources by any chance? Because that sounds like something human resources would say, and I mean that as a compliment. Because my better half does work in human resources. But yeah, Serial at Midnight Heath is actually selling off some of his collection right now because he doesn't have space. And I get that. I'm getting here. And I'm like, oh, so Joe Chappelle is the guy that did Halloween. Curse of Mike Myers is also the guy that took over for Hellraiser Bloodlines, a T-shirt, which I do have, by the way. Uh, so basically, he was a dick to a lot of people. I wasn't there, so I'm going to take secondhand information. So basically, service industry. Man, I feel you because I know what that's like. But you'd not be a supervisor too, would you? Because that's kind of what I tell some of my agents. He was not. He was mean to Donald Pleasance. He's got he literally started taking this. He found Donald Pleasance boring. Donald Pleasance was working sick. This was the last film Donald Pleasance died after making this film. He was not allowed to come back to do any reshoots. I don't think it was a death Donald Pleasance. I don't want to be that mean. But definitely, it didn't make Donald Pleasance's last working job any easier. having someone like Joe Chappelle to work for. He spoke about the lead actress. He had negative things to say about her. Thank you, Kara. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I could feel the manager vibes, man. And he was overall like not a pleasant person at the point to work with. I don't know if he's changed, if he's grown. I have no idea. But at the time, I spoke to somebody that had worked with him, and they did not have pleasant things to say. But I cannot say who the person was. I do apologize. But it was early on basically online, and I was talking. There's people that I spoke with, and it's really weird that I never did this here like earlier than I did it, because I was late finding out about YouTube. THX 1138 was on. My favorite Donald Pleasance film. Like, I go back, obviously I like Halloween, but he's made so many, like, just he does these cool, quirky characters. Of course, Alone in the Dark was like really big when I was young. But he made this one called The Mutations as well. Remember The Mutations? Anybody remember this song? Tom Baker was in it. And yeah, I really like that film. I think I got it. I think I got it under another name. It's called Deathline. It's Deathline Mutations, the same film. Oh yeah, there was too skinny. Her chin was too pointy. Remember that? Remember that? But like, what decent person like wouldn't want like 5 minutes alone in a room with the Weinsteins and a baseball bat? Like, especially Harvey Weinstein. I would. I totally would. That's not even joking there. I would, and I would enjoy every freaking second of it. So that's probably one of the reasons that when they say, do you like the producer's cut or the theatrical cut more? It's hard because you got the Weinsteins on one side, which is producers, and you got the just director, which is not the greatest. But I do think the people that worked on the films did the best job that they could with overwhelming obstacles. So there's my rant on that. 3 Seconds of Christopher Lee. Yeah, you're right. Wake of Fright was really good. Wake of Fright was an excellent film. Actually, I got Femme Death downstairs. I haven't watched it in years. I got to check it out. I forgot. I remembered Michael York, but I forgot that Edridge was in it. Like, Matt, I totally, like, what a big fan I am of hers. Daniel Farrens wrote Part 6. He actually is the guy that worked on, well, he did the documentary for, Crystal Lake Memories, because, Peter Bracke wrote the book. I haven't got a chance to watch anything yet. I'm going to watch some stuff later on tonight, actually. I got like a lot to watch. I was tired last night, but I watched a bit of Stunt Rock, and I gotta finish this off. This was really fun. I was watching that last night, but it was like around 3 o'clock in the morning when I started watching it. Oh, how could she not be sexy? Like, in all honesty, her and like, what's the girl that's in her Coley's films? Neves Navarro. I love Neves Navarro too. One of these days I'll do a list of my favorite. I'll do a list. I promise you guys of my top favorite Giallo heroines and heroes. There's not so many heroes in Giallo, so that's gonna be a shorter list. Rosabella Neri, Mike, is one of my dad's favorite actresses. He loves her, man. He will buy anything that she is in, especially if she's really in it. Like he's really, aka Susan Smith, right? Exactly. If he's talking about Ned Severo, by the way, guys. But yeah, Rosa Bellinari, my dad talks about like Susan Scott. Talks about Rose, talks about her all the time. There's a movie that she did, and I think Edwidge is in it. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm 100% sure she is. Called Top Sensation. If you're a fan of Rosa Bellinari and you're a fan of Edwidge, then you gotta watch Top Sensation. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. Such a good film, and such an interesting film too. So I had a lot of fun with that film. I don't know. My dad owns it. Who's my biggest cinema crush? When I was a kid, it was Stacey Mitzian, who was on the TV show Degrassi Junior High, and because I grew up in Canada, and she played Caitlin Ryan. But when we talk about like actual cinema, actual film, Edwidge was an early crush. I really thought Kate Nelligan looked. I was really had a big fan of Kate Nelligan. John Badham's Dracula was my Dracula. Hey there, punk, welcome, man. Was my Dracula, and that's the Drac that I saw. So you get a lot of people like grew up like younger people that grew up in the saw like Bram Stoker's Dracula. The one from Francis Ford Coppola. So just to let you guys know, there'll be no Francis Ford Coppola Dracula done the way that it was done without John Badham's Dracula coming first. That paved the way. And yeah, I was a very big fan of her at the time. Oh, Degrassi. I have Degrassi. I got Kids of Degrassi Street Vanessa. I got Degrassi Junior High, and I got Degrassi High downstairs. All 3 box sets. And I think I got a couple sets of the newer series too. I never met Jay North. Actually, I never knew his name till much later. Actually, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Well, that is a great one. Salma Hayek. Barbara Boucher. Barbara Boucher. Barbara Boucher has some of the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. But that reminds me. That I remember. Oh my God, how could I have forgotten? Who was my favorite? Like, was the actress that like Deborah Shelton. I love Deborah Shelton. She played Mandy Wenger on Dallas. She had gorgeous eyes, and I thought she was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Um, but for me, this is going to seem kind of weird to some of you guys, but I grew up on CBC late night, so a lot of my like big crushes were like old movie starlets. So like people like Claudia Colbert and Joan Crawford, Barbara Stanwyck. I'm not, those were the ones I watched as a kid. So those were the ones that like I kind of, I kind of dreamed about really. I'm like, okay, they like utterly like the gorgeous classic era cinema. But I guess maybe that shows my age too, right? That night gallery set looks amazing, Punk. I cannot wait to eventually get that one. Actually, if that, yeah. So that's always been like that. It's, and I think like, yeah, throughout my life, a lot of times that's, oh, Carolyn Monroe Silver Danning. I can totally get that. Yeah, it was Bela Lugosi. I could see that. Spike is cool too. They came into our schools at one point. Yeah, they came to the schools. They were doing like this tour. The Grass was doing a tour, and they came to schools to talk about like issues. And they brought like this Degrassi newspaper with them, like a Degrassi like kind of faux newspaper from the Degrassi school. So I got to meet some of the Degrassi cast. I can't remember who it was now though, but it was a long time ago. I don't think Stacey Mitson was there though. She's like a Claire Trevor. Yeah, there you go. She and she very much is like in that style. Like if you've ever seen like her now, she's a fitness person, but she has that old school like classic. If she wanted to do movies, like movie starlet like that era look, right? Mickey Dolen's daughter. The Monkeys, man. Rest in peace, by the way, Mike Nesmith. That was a shock. That was a real shock. Shop rip off of Steven Spielberg's Duel. I'll check it out. Here's the thing. If nothing else in these videos here, I'll tell you right now, what will happen is you'll hear, we'll be on a topic, and you get 10 more topics that you won't expect, and hopefully there'll be good ones. Yeah, it's hopefully for a long time too. I was listening to that was then this is now actually the day that I heard. Actually before, I think we're on about an hour before. Because that's one of my favorite Monkey songs. It's like one of the later ones that did, but I really love that song. I got that was in This Is Now and Touch of Grey from Grateful Dead, like put together on one of my playlists. Because like everybody, Apple Music or Spotify, you usually got one of them, right? I like to collect more records and stuff and CDs, but I just don't have the space anymore. Winona Ryder. She was another one that was definitely a classic look. I haven't watched the Get Back Beatles documentary yet. I heard great stuff about it, but I haven't got to watch it, Alvin. I'm still behind. Like I find like lately, like just because of the Samantha Mathis too. By the way, she doesn't get mentioned enough. But she was like an '80s actress. I'll turn on a Tubi and watch one like a documentary on Tubi, and because it'll keep playing, and no matter when I wake up, like in the middle of the night to go to use the washroom, whatever, or if I can't wake up, there's always a good movie like playing. Hey there, Dag, welcome, man. There's always a good movie playing on. There's always a good documentary. Or when I woke up this morning, it was Trailer Wars that was playing. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" I like woke in the middle of like this trailer, this trailer tape. Have a great evening there, Vanessa, and chat with you soon. Oh, it's been too long. Actually, on here and like on in person as well. But if we would have chatted, I probably would have cried because it's one of those weeks, man. Oh, I love Grateful Dead. But in a second, I'm going to go because I have not yet had my my coffee. Yes, coffee. I'm because you know what I'm getting. Oh, there's like a ton of stuff. Like I was a person that would not go to Tubi at all because there's commercials in between and stuff like that. But you know what? Loving it. Tubi has made me look for so many physical releases. We definitely should. We got to remind each other. By the way, which one's Romina Mondello? I can't do Tim Hortons. Like I know I'm Canadian, and like so you should be probably struck down with lightning, right? Yeah, that was a cool box, man. But want to see what I'm drinking now? I know it's a weird thing, but what my latest one is? I know it's blasphemy. I'm a Starbucks person. I know. I still get Tim Hortons for some things, but see, I don't drink regular coffee. Here's the thing: I drink lattes. I drink. It's going to sound so snobby. I drink. Pepper mocha. I drink a lot of lattes and stuff like that. And I don't think that that at least my Tim Hortons, and they're really nice. They're really great people there, and they do good when it comes to my cousin's coffee, and they do great when it comes to like tea, regular tea. But my God, they cannot make a latte to save their lives. So what I did, because Starbucks is 40 minutes away from me, and I can't get there more than like once a week or once or twice a week. I'll show you. Be right back. Hey, this week. Hey, careful, I don't step on you. Like rolled up there. My cat's right there, and I just had to be careful. So this is International Delights Peppermint Mocha. It's actually pretty good. So, and see, that's movie time too. Alpha's right there. So I'm actually boiling the kettle right now, so I can actually add my coffee. Cal Monroe. Did you ever check out the video "Goody Two Shoes" by Adam Ant? Because that's got Cal Monroe on it. She looks a bit different. She looks gorgeous still in there. Oh, my youngest sister, she takes her. Well, actually, both my sisters actually take the coffee pretty seriously. But my youngest sister, like, is pretty trendy when it comes to the coffee stuff. Like, she'll go to certain places, uh, especially like the cool trendy places. She's got a very discerning taste when it comes to coffee and stuff. But I can't lie. I am the type of guy that will be sitting in Starbucks with a MacBook that writing. That is me. I am totally a uh, the I'm the trope. What I used to like when I was a kid, like for those that were Canadian or been ever checked out Tim Hortons, Linda Carter is gorgeous, and my God, she's gorgeous to this very day. She is timeless. Linda Carter and Cheryl Ladd are timelessly beautiful women. We're talking a little bit of everything, but I did mention that I have some peppermint mocha. There you go, in English. It's got the elf on it. So I'm actually making that right now. So they're called something else, but when I was a kid, they were called Long Johns. And they're like long. And I'm not sure if anyone remembers, like, Warlock, you might remember them under that name. I'm not quite sure. But I don't think it was just a Newfoundland thing. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Uh, it's really good, actually, Dave. I was super surprised because I'm very picky. Eggnog and liquor. That's what I need actually right now. But tomorrow, I'll need that tomorrow at work. Now, Tim Beams, I haven't tried those. I've been tempted. Like my cousin was like, "No way in hell are we trying." Right now, I got well. This is just the creamer, right? Like I'm using Nescafe as my coffee. Not a Usually I'll go for a medium roast. So I'll never go for like a really dark roast. We've been talking about everything here tonight. And like I started off with like pretty much 6 minutes talking about like behind the scenes stuff on the channel, and I was worried that maybe people are gonna. Cream puffs. I love cream puffs. See, this is my first time living in Nova Scotia. The only area that I haven't been in yet is BC. I almost did move there once. So one of my exes, uh, I was I was engaged at the time. I love ground coffee. Ground coffee better is best, but in a pinch I'll take instant. So let me just go grab my coffee. I'll be right back. I gotta put the creamer in. Yeah, don't keep it at the fridge for too long. Hey, you are adorable. I'm frightened nothing on step by step. Careful. It's okay. Who is my adorable kitty? Is it you? Is it silly round bellied kitty? I think it is. I think it is. Sorry, he's really cute. Wasn't our Warner Archive released the Blu-ray of Scorsese's After Hours? I wish I knew, because I would love to have that. Yes, I've roped the rim to win. I've never really won anything really big though. Though there's an area that I lived in at one point where this old man came in and he won a TV or something like that, and the person that worked there convinced him that he hadn't actually won the TV, and he ended up taking it. I heard that from a friend, and I was like, I better not see that person. That was, and I literally went to Tim Hortons like 3 or 4 times at Tim Hortons to see the person that had done that, and they never showed up. So there you go. Aaron had anger issues when he was younger. There you go. I don't like to roll up the room to win now because, like, my cousin doesn't mind it, but it's all on your phone, right? So you got a Tim Hortons like card, and you got an app, right? So, and you can win points and like even other stuff like that too, but you got to roll up the rim on your phone. So you get a card. The card gets scanned when you go to Tim Hortons. Definitely tweet me the link, man. Love me some like looks in the stores like that. JB Hi-Fi, so cool. Our Criterion working on half. Oh, that'll be nice. I'm looking to get more Criterion this year, by the way, guys. I'm looking for more Criterion, more indicator stuff like that, kind of more of that type of stuff. I want to I want to challenge myself a bit more this year. I want to like really look at some cool cinema. Well, I don't know. Yeah, Warlock might know that actually, does. But I only go to Toronto for actually very short periods of time. Well, I definitely do. It's been a couple years, and the last Criterions I got was because my good friend Cinema Dave actually sent two to me actually, and he did. And I when I started watching, and I said like I've been missing out on this. Like I've been doing things, and I'll say this too, and I'll be bluntly honest. There are times that when I felt like in the last year that I've done a couple things more for the channel than for me. For a couple of the releases and stuff. And I don't want it to be like that. because then it comes across is eventually going to come across as disingenuous. When I'm when I show a movie on my channel, I want it to be something that I got something to talk about, whether I'm complaining about it or I'm talking about it because I love it. Um, then that's what I'm looking for when it comes to that. Oh, sorry guys, that's probably my better half's mom, and I just told you. I will love Amadeus in 4K. I'm just for those who know, I'm a huge music fan. All types of music. I listen to everything from punk to pop to like some country, not so much countries, but to like classical music and opera. Yeah, your channel should be a reflection of you. And I feel the warlock that I, I let a little bit of it get away from me, like because sometimes if you put a certain name of a certain company in your title, uh, then it gets more views. But I don't want to do that. I want what I'm doing to reflect how I'm feeling and what I'm watching, what I'm enjoying watching. The film selected for National Library. I haven't seen it actually. If you had a link to it, you can like send me a link. I'd love to check it out. I'll definitely check it out. I'll look it up online afterwards anyway. Maybe it's an idea for a video down the road. Are you still thinking about doing a channel warlock? I want Citizen Kane. I don't like the packaging, Woody, but I do want it. God, I do want some of the John Hughes stuff. I'm an '80s kid, right? So not gonna lie, there, I would definitely get the Breakfast Club stuff like that. But there's a few. I'd like to have some Uzo. I'm worried they're gonna put an Uzo box set, but I would really love to have some Uzo. Um, because I love his work, and God, I want deep cover. I really want deep cover. Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum. Again, some incredible work. I want to get the Bruce Lee sets. So there's a lot of mainstream stuff that I do want. There's some other stuff too that I just really want to get. A lot of little classic older stuff, like flat film noir, some Western stuff. Astro Monster. That'll be fun. Actually, enjoy it, man. Yeah, you can't do both. You gotta, and people see. Another little peek behind the curtain for those that are thinking about you doing YouTube, have ever done it. We get sent suggestions like from emails from YouTube, like, okay, this is trending, or this is kind of thing, and what you can do to like kind of get peak interest in your channel, I guess. But I've never really used it. That's never been my thing to do. Like, I figure if people are going to be interested in my channel, it's hopefully going to be for what I talk about and for a lesser extent. Um, Hopefully, my personality will do its thing, so good or bad. Um, Uzaboxa would be a dream release. That for me too. That's the only reason here that I have not picked up any Uzo yet, and there's so many that I want. Like, I was watching a bunch when I had the Criterion channel. I watched it because I know there's some on there. I'm sure it's on Criterion channel. No, the media's a new version of Citizen Kane. I like to have the cover, but I do want the Criterion edition of that. Thank you, Trash. Yes, be part of the cool group and hit the like button. They did some Eclipse box sets, but I would like to see them actually do like a full like big set, like kind of like we got with Bergman, uh, and less like we got with Agnes Varda, because Varda, unfortunately, she didn't get as good a box set as like Fellini and Bergman got, and it's a shame because I really do want that Varda box set because I really find some of her work, especially some of her earlier work, to be really compelling. I've never been a clip set. Exactly, feel like the Fonz, and if you're younger, feel like Dylan from from Beverly Hills 90210. Rest in peace, by the way, Jason Priestley. I think we've seen more channels leave, not because they didn't fit the algorithm so much, Warlock, in that they, unfortunately for some people, tried to chase the algorithm and just got frustrated when they couldn't find a fit there. Like, to be blatantly honest, I should not have ever, like, cut on even to the smallest amount that I have, because I've got a very niche, very different channel. I do things very differently, and it's honestly probably because that I've been lucky enough to meet and interact with some of the other kind of much more popular people on YouTube and in podcasts that you guys see me right now. Lubitsch, I love Ernest. I love Ernest Lubitsch. Could they release them on Blu-ray? I mean, like, are the elements there? Like, I always thought that the reason the clips were released on DVD were probably because the elements weren't there for Blu-ray, but it was earlier on. It's hard, Warlock. Like, you've seen me on this channel for years. You know, I've been doing this for like 10 years, and it can beat at you, man. You're pretty solidly. It's a safe bet. Well, Nicholas Ray films are a safe bet, man. And James Cagney, especially. You know, my favorite James Cagney movie is, well, Angels with Dirty Faces. That's my favorite James Cagney film. I love White Heat, but I also love Yankee Doodle Dandy. And one of my biggest joys with Yankee Doodle Dandy is, I know the behind the scenes. I know that, like, Cagney was really a song and dance guy. We did both of them were here. Um, but and to realize that he got to do Yankee Doodle Dandy and was probably at the zenith of his happiness while making that. Did I say Jason Priestley? Oh my God! Yes, Luke Perry. I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, is we watch AW all the time, man. Especially my better half. She doesn't miss. She watches Being Delete everything. She doesn't miss any of it. She watches Dark. I think she watches the all the other shows too. Ark was a vicious game would have changed that YouTube. No, it is. It is. I mean, like, I got sent a survey to do it for YouTube, because every year you get like these surveys sent out, and I don't normally do them, but this year I did it. I said, why don't you, said it's, you spend so much time promoting people that are already there, why not take some smaller channels and put them on your trending page, promote them, promote some of the smaller channels. Don't, you know PewDiePie, all those guys, they're there, they're already there. Like, everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows who Angry Joe is. Everybody knows those channels. But there's a lot of beautiful channels, and I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about guys like Before, Serial Midnight, Cinema Dave. Um, we got guys like Just This, doing the good work, right? That's what I want to see. I want to see those guys getting the recognition they deserve. That's In a Lonely Place and They Live by Night. That's an incredible feature. Oh, on a slightly off center, like an off the wall topic, all of a sudden, did anybody watch the VGAs? And man, did they suck or what? Did the video game wars, like, didn't they suck like completely? Now, I'm not sure if anybody here's a gamer at all, but if you are and you missed the VGAs, you did miss the VGAs that were really bad. Oh, I was gonna do it. Did you give like there's some the only things that I get though like Warlock are from like Mill Creek and Umbrella. That's the only two companies that I get like stuff from. And Umbrella got their own website, and I do show the website on the channel a lot. With Mill Creek, it's like you buy from Amazon. So what I should be doing, in all honesty, is like because I do have an Amazon store and I never put the link out to it. I should be like just linking the movies as I do them, like put links to like you can buy the film here, that type of thing. But I never think about it. Like I'm a guy that like aced my public relations when I was in school, and you wouldn't know it from the way that I run my channel. Oh, it was a hard year this year, I think. I do like Louis Banal. It's been a while since I watched his work though. That's like Romer. I like Eric Romer a lot too, but it's been ages before I've seen a Banal or Romer film. But I feel solid. Like if I hadn't seen one, if there's one that I hadn't seen and I was going to blind buy, I feel solid buying blind buying. Well, did you notice, Razor, that like Nintendo completely pulled out of the VGAs this year? Like that, there was not a single Nintendo announcement at all. Not as far as I can remember, anyway. Yeah. See, the only one I can link with though is really, uh, well, I go with Umbrella. I do, and Mill Creek now too. I do it across my Instagram, my Twitter, and on my channel as well. But I do, yeah, I do try to promote them as best as I can. It, have to say, about what was it, 4 months, 4 or 5 months ago, I did get a really nice letter from Mill Creek, like an email from Mill Creek, saying that they liked what I was doing with the releases. That I just didn't just like kind of flash them on the screen. That they liked the way that I was showcasing that. I felt really proud about that actually. Because like I'll say if I don't like a release, I'll let you know when I don't like a release. But they still liked what I did, so that was actually cool. There you go. So you should be in public relations, man. I need to hire you for my PR. Well, if I ever get big enough, I can do that. I'm so jealous when I hear like YouTubers that are out there, and I mean jealous in the nicest, sincerest term, by the way, that they said, okay, and my team's doing this, and I'm like, oh my god, that got to be so awesome. That has to be so awesome. Fresh, unfortunate man. Reggie was like the face for of North American Nintendo. He is much missed. But no, but like not even like the announcements there, and even what I consider the biggest announcement was made not on the show, but on Twitter, and it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, and people complained. They're like, I can't believe they're making the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I can't believe it's the guys that made the Friday 13th game. That game was so sucky. I mean, like, no, it wasn't. Um, well, I love the Friday 13th game. I played the hell of the Friday 13th game. I was literally about to start like streaming on Twitch with the Friday the 13th game. Well, back in the day, video store, it was slasher films. I was a big slasher fan. I grew up in the '80s, so I was really big into slasher. As I got older, that kind of changed. For me, right now, um, I like a good story. I'm not big on too many jump scares. Like I can, depends on the type of film it is. But I'm not like an A24 snob where it's got to be like a Midsummer or something where I'm gonna love it. Like I did like Midsummer. I thought it was really good, but I do like a lot of the more independent horror. And there was like films, and they were kind of lower budget films, but I just potential is really important to me. So there's a movie, a werewolf movie, and it was a fairly low budgetly done film called I Am Lisa, and it was sent to me through Mill Creek. and I watched it. I was kind of iffy when I was going to watch it. Um, but I really enjoyed it, and especially because like some of the actors in it, like really, really did, especially for like a Laura, they brought their A game. They really brought their A game for the film, and I like the potential that there is in kind of almost building like a universe there. Um, so that type of thing stands out to me. When I see something that kind of excites me on a different level, like I know, like I watch like the latest Marvel movie or latest like Star Wars type thing or Star Trek. I'm used to Trekkie, right? That I'm gonna like that stuff, and I've got a bias built in, right? But when I can find something that kind of surprises me, that really that gets me. Like I expect, like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna like the next Halloween film, like that. Nothing there, no big surprises there. But when I find like a little film like I Am Lisa or something like that, that's when I get excited. I know it's not a movie that's going to jive with everybody, but it's one that just stuck out with me. There's a couple sequences that was as a potential actor. That was my thing I was going to do. There's a couple choices that were made in the film that I really liked. Now, that being said, I'm super. I want to see the new Spider-Man movie. I'm a huge fan of that stuff. Hey, disconnected man, welcome, dude. Hopefully, you and your better half had a great movie watching time yesterday. I love to see like really well done. I'm a huge fan of like not of H.P. Lovecraft as a person. He's a horrible person, but of H.P. Lovecraft as a writer. So to see like his stuff done well, it's few and far between. I watched most of Channel Zero, but I don't think I've seen the fourth. Did you really watch April Syndrome? Did you like it? It didn't jive with me, man. Uh, my gut instinct was right. But that being said, yeah, I'm in the minority. I'm okay with being in the minority. It just wasn't my thing. See, I couldn't get into it. Yeah, stay away from the spoilers. Stay off. If you're going to see the movie soon, stay off social media, man. Uh, See, now that you showed her something like the Ebola syndrome, show her trauma so she can see a master filmmaker at work. Just put it out there, man. No, in all seriousness, I'm totally in the minority with that film. Most people are gonna love it, and they like that style of film. It's just not my thing. But I didn't like the Serbian film either. Like a lot of people love that movie, man. And I was like, yeah, this is like base exploitation. Hey, little Pop Retro, welcome, man. Like I did not buy the whole. Well, this is a political allegory. I'm like, no, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't kind of don't buy it. Yeah, Black Christmas. Black Christmas 1974 is my favorite horror film of all time. Favorite movie of all time, actually. It's what got me into studying film as opposed to watching film. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be in the film. And if they're not, that's okay, man. There's Willem Dafoe's in this movie. I love the 100 Sundown, a very uneven film, but I did really enjoy it. The humor aspects of Town to Dread Sundown did lend a bit of like unevenness to the whole film, as you know, as opposed to like kind of playing it totally straight. I really think that not so much a sequel though, that the re-envisioning, I guess we would say, of the Town to Dread Sundown is really where it was at. Because he did an amazing job with that, and I did not expect to like that at all. I expected this to be like just some kind of cheap cash grab, and oh my god, did they do a good job with that? See, I don't know. I mean, like my better half like would watch my movies with me, but certain movies I'm just kind of glad that she's not into. Like I have some here from from Vinegar Syndrome that I'm kind of glad she doesn't want to watch. To be bluntly honest with you, I think you know what I mean. Christmas Eve was awesome. I love that film. Yeah, that Mad Acid was really different. Uh, super enjoyed that. But I don't know what I'm going to watch tonight. I mean, like I'm looking back at the stuff that I got over there now. I kind of part of me wants to dig into trauma. Part of me wants to dig into that like Fun City editions, like box set. I think I'm going to wait in the box set until either Hin's here to watch with me. Well, she's here, but she's working, like upstairs doing some work, and Namaraj is going to be not going to be until Friday. So I'm probably going to wait on a couple of those till then. But I can probably watch Trauma on my own. So I'll probably watch Trauma tonight. It's been a while since I've seen it. I'm a huge fan of like that film. I like anything Azia is in. Actually, I'm really huge fan of Zia Argento. Not as big enough fan that I didn't used to get her name wrong though, because I used to call her Asia, and that's totally wrong. It spells like Asia, but it's not pronounced that way. Same like Kayla Janice. It spells like Kayla Janice, but it's Kayla Janice. Oh, my cousin told me not to dare watch Flesh for Frank's out there because he's a huge fan of like he loved Blood for Dracula. He'd really like that. I'm waiting to get my partner label stuff. I'm kind of excited to watch Censor. Like Creature's a really good movie, but I kind of remember Creature Warlock. I actually really love Creature. What did you watch both versions? Did you watch you did, so you said didn't you? Yeah, you did. I've seen the trailer for The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl. No, I know I saw that title. Is that a legit film? Or is it like one of those parody films? Because I thought that was the most hilarious title that I've ever heard. I am still here, man. Suburbia is a great film. Reader Ray Moore movies are really good. Dolomite's my favorite. Spoof. Okay, yeah. Figured it had to be a spoof. Um, After you finish the Rudy Ray Moore films, I recommend checking out Black Dynamite. Because Black Dynamite is righteous. I would find it might be. I find it hard to believe. I do just because like this would be rare if for Vinegar Syndrome to like mess up on a transfer. This is what they're known for. This is what they do. I'm sure if there is any issues, they'll literally work them out. We had our censorship. We definitely had our censorship. Do I know it was targeted? God, I used to. For those that don't know, I'm also a writer, and at one point I was writing a book on exploitation and Canadian horror. So yes, we did have like censorship here. One of the big killers with us, basically, was. But we were the place you would come to make your horror films, actually. Oh, nice! Before you know it, it'll be there, man. Um, was Canadian content. So Canadian content is paramount when it comes to Canada, and it's worse than our censorship. Like I actually think like U.S. does have stricter censorship. I got to disagree with Warlock on that part of it, but our killer thing is Canadian content. Canadian content is the killer thing when it comes to us, and it's a barrier. Like we're very, very much for a country that is pretty mixed and a melting pot, whatever. Man, are we big on our Canadian content? Our TV channels have to have like certain amount of Canadian content. Like theater chains had to run certain amount of Canadian like films, which is great, and like it can be a very good thing, but it can be a thing that kind of like can block out other things from getting in, like with no compete clauses, stuff like that. The reason we don't have Barnes and Noble here, by the way, guys, isn't because Barnes and Noble's never tried to come here. Barnes and Noble's tried to come to Canada several times. Indigo has blocked them because Indigo is a Canadian-based book chain, and much in the same vein as Barnes and Noble without the films. They used to have films. Um, and they kind of dig into that whole like, hey, we got like the Canadian rights thing, and we got Canadian content here, and it always blocks Barnes and Noble when they try and get in here. So it's interesting. It's interesting to check out. If I ever finish my book, I'll look into it more. I can't think of any books that have been blocked from coming to Canada. Like, and us, like, no, honestly. But then again, maybe it's not something that I've looked into. To be truthful, Adam McGuire, especially his early stuff, is amazing. For me, he really peaks around probably around Sweet Hereafter, but still does some great stuff. Jen Waters. And that's so weird because I have seen Pink Flamingos here in Canada, but I guess never played in theater. See, let me put you this way. Yes, we have censorship. Uh, we also have the easiest to get past censorship in the world. um, so not a lot of you are going to understand this, and that's not a knock on you guys. That's a compliment, actually. But and you can look up the film if you want to, but don't look it up on a family computer. But the movie Hardcore, played in theaters here in Canada. You picked the wrong thing. The Sinbad box set will forever be his. That is the thing. That's one of her most prized possessions, actually. I did not know that about Howard Chaykin's, but that makes sense, actually. Well, it doesn't not the blocking part of it, but the fact that I never saw. Saw it here. I never saw it there. I'm a big comic guy too, so it's really kind of surprising. They could have like censored some Cerebus if they wanted to. That one got really bad, really unfortunate. I used to read it and I was like, oh God, can you just end this comic already? We don't need to go 300 issues. Yeah. No, we had some rough times here, but it was easy to get past. It was like so easy to get past. I saw like uncut like Argento films like in the theater back in the day. But the thing is, smaller theaters could really get away with it a lot more. But yeah, the fact that my dad went to the theater and saw Hardcore here in Corner Brook in Newfoundland, and bloody hell, man! Like I saw that movie later on in my life. I did not want to watch that movie, but I was surprised that that got into anywhere. What's that girl in the UK you guys had? Mary Whitehouse, right? She was the boogeyman of like the censorship era. Like she was like And she didn't even make it. And when you go back and you watch it now, it's like you can't. It's hard to believe that like Mary Whitehouse, uh, like anybody followed her because her interviews made no sense. And because you'd get this here and she'd be like, "Well, have you seen that? Have you seen that one? Have you seen that film? Have you seen that movie?" She's like, "No, I don't have to see the movie to know that I do not agree with what's in it." Well, you kind of fucking do. That's the most newfie I've ever sounded. Uh, I think she would be. I really do. I think she'd be taken more seriously today. That's the scary part, man. I don't have the criminal or film or Fatale, but I have heard such amazing stuff about both of them. I really want to get the criminal ones. I want to get Black Hammer too, totally different one. But criminal, uh, Fatal, and Black Hammer are the three that have been on my list recently. Kind of the outside of the normal spectrum. Oh, nowadays video star Mary Whitehouse would like go online and she would stir up a freaking storm. She'd be in her glee. Uh, but the thing was, it wasn't so easy to get people to like jump on board like back then. Now there was the crazy stuff. We had like the satanic panic thing that went on during my time. I remember I used to play Dungeons and Dragons when I was younger. Had like the classic red box, right? And before Advance came out, and there were some people like wasn't like my grandparents were pretty chill about it, but some people that came in the house were like looked at it like it was like I was holding the Satanic Bible or something like that, because it was like a Dungeons Dragons. Like, yo, I don't think you should be letting Aaron play with Dungeons and Dragons. No, I heard some stuff on the news about that. Satan and that. That's like some people are like, don't think you should be listening to any of that Ozzy Osbourne or any of that Kiss. So they're pre-satanic stuff. You best not listen to that. Oh, no, it's not gonna end well. Seriously, did you? Oh, I have been so waiting for that. Warlock, do you watch? I'm sure some of you guys are like comics. Near mint condition, because he's been like wanting to like somebody to continue those hardbound like Transformers and GI Joe comics for a while. I want to grab the IDW like Ninja Turtle books, but because they're not that expensive, but I'm just worried that I'm so far behind. You can hear the scenes we played it. It was so disappointing. Like when I would listen to music and I was, oh, this music's totally, totally satanic. I listen. If you listen to it backwards, I haven't got to watch anything yet, Ragman. I rarely like. I worked all yesterday, and um, I even after I got off work, then I came here and I had to film some videos for for the Patreon channel. Um, 9 of the 20, I think they're coming out this month are out. So I had to do. I got still got more to film tonight. IDW, really? I really don't want to lose IDW. They're a good company. Woody, have a great night. Thank you for staying in for so long, man. It's been almost 2 hours here. So truly a marathon, dude. I appreciate it. That's a good point, actually, when it comes to like less about censorship and more about class. Because you see that. I mean, like, and it's a weird thing to think about. It's like, okay, like we can like censor ourselves, but the maybe the middle class and the poor class, they may not be able to understand it as well because they're not as well educated as we are, and we see that. I wonder, Marvel's working hard to get out those Conan omnibuses right now, so I'm guessing that they're not going to have the Conan license for long. I'm guessing someone else is picking that up soon because Marvel is like running through those Conan books, man. Savage and Marvel, Conan, its original years, kind of run through them like crazy. I don't expect them to keep Star Wars either, like eventually. Although, like, they did some really great stuff. Jason Aaron, Star Wars, Charles Soule, like really great stuff with that as well. But licenses are difficult to keep. It's hard to keep keep it going on a like keep company on a license. Like, anybody remember Now Comics? They did like Fright Night, Married with Children. They did early, like, kind of like they had Terminator originally and stuff like that. Ditko's art's amazing. See, I wait till you get to volume 2. The John Romita, in my opinion, does even better work than Ditko. And it comes through not so much in like the art style, though I do think he draws, like, I guess, a handsomer Peter Parker, but it comes across even more in the writing because Romita kind of co-plotted. Dark Horse. Oh, Dark Horse is coming back because they're the ones that lost the rights to Conan. And honestly, fairly rightfully so, because my Dark Horse Conan, like, pretty much telephone books, are nothing compared to the stuff that Marvel's put out. But I'm glad to know you're an omnibus like reader, Sierra, because I'm a huge omnibus person. Right now, I'm just completing the first volume of Uncanny X-Men, and I've stopped reading it for now until I get volume 2, which which is supposed to come before Christmas. And now I'm reading Peter David's X Factor, and I recommend it to everybody. It's a really great read. Because if you've never read like Peter David and like well, read his Hulk because it's amazing. But it's X Factor. His original X Factor is a one and done. You can read the second volume with X Factor Investigations, but X Factor by Peter David, volume 1, really, really good. I read a lot, but Roger Stern was the first time that I really like knew like a creator on a comic like that I would look for. I was a big Roger Stern fan. My mom got me the Roger Stern omnibus, like Spider-Man by Roger Stern omnibus for Christmas, and it's massive and it's so good because he doesn't like stick on like the just the regular, like, the big time villains. He's not putting out a bunch of Doc Ock and a bunch of Green Goblin or anything like that. What he's doing instead is he's focusing on like kind of smaller villains and kind of building up the story and bringing in new characters. And because of that, he's able to put more characterization and more heart and more feeling into his story and do like real mystery. More, there's a really good run for more. They put out a box set recently, but that's pretty pricey, CR. Though there's the absolutes that they put out for Swamp Thing. Now they are recolored, so they did do a modern color recoloring of the Swamp Thing for the absolutes. So I think there's 3 volumes altogether to kind of I think that completes Alan Moore's run. But if you don't mind the recoloring, like, take a look at the video just to see if something's going to bother you. Then it's a very good run. Of course, it ends kind of unevenly because he leaves the book, but it happens a lot of times. Roger Stern is always in that case. Grew up on Chris Claremont and Jim Lee's X-Men. That's when Claremont actually left. So that was later. Chris Claremont, by the way, for those that don't know, I was going to do a video on it, and I probably will eventually. I'm doing a video on my Patreon channel of my favorite like comic runs. That's one of the things I've been working on. So a little peek behind the curtains and a little kind of peek ahead. So Claremont ran his original run on X-Men was around 17 years. So he picked up right after Len Wein did the Giant Size X-Men, and he pretty much took over and did the whole team. uh, is with Dave Cockrum was really good. When he got with John Byrne and they were kind of John Byrne was kind of co-plotting, really hits his zenith at that point. And but he kept on going for like 17 years. Isn't it cool? Steve Bissett was like he's on Sony like special features nowadays. Yeah. Like I was lucky enough to meet like a few like comic creators over the years. I met Todd Templeton, of course. He's been at a lot of conventions. I'm sure you've met him, Warlock, because you're in Ontario. And like guys like Sergio Jonas and Stan Sakai, and of course Neil and Josh Adams too. I mean, like very different, but no. Sometimes like the ability to like do the coloring ice is it's there. It's just sometimes they choose to. It's think of it like a summit that came in as to create like that did a film and it was shot in a certain aspect ratio or shot with certain type of like lighting or coloring, and then you go and you buy it and it's got like different like coloring and lighting to it, and people are like, that's not the way Suspiria looked. So it's kind of like that. Like the ability's there and the ability to see them in the original like colors are still there. But I don't mind the over kind of the recoloring overall. Sometimes it does look a bit off. There's some iffy choices that were made, but overall, I would gladly pick up the absolutes for Swamp Thing. I actually would love to get like I want to get some Jeff Lemire stuff. Jeff Lemire's Canadian comic book writer, really good one too. I want his Animal Man, and I think, and I though I haven't really remember it well, I know Nancy A. Collins worked on Swamp Thing for a while. Wouldn't mind having her on this as well, because I remember that being pretty good, and pretty much almost anything Grant Morrison. I'm a huge Grant Morrison fan. Guy's a genius. Sometimes a bit insane genius, but he's a bit of a genius. But it is. I mean, like that's the thing. It crosses the boundary. Is like it crosses over, and I think a lot of people that actually give it a chance that are into cinema would be into certain types of comics, whether or not may not be like the regular mainstream comics, but some of the some of the more indie stuff. Because a lot of the movies that they like the Road Perdition and History of Violence, those are all comic books originally. Yannick Capet's, hopefully I pronounced that right, by the way. Yeah, amazing job. Really liked that. I would like to pick that up actually. I was iffy on buying like DC omnibuses originally because the flat spine, but I find it's not too bad. They're getting better. There's I had the amount of zero omnibuses at the beginning of this year, and thanks to some very good luck that I had and getting some very amazing deals, I should hopefully, if the last one I'm expecting comes, I will have end the end of my first year collecting omnibuses with 25 omnibuses, which I don't think is bad for 1 year. There's so many like really good like comic books that have been done. There's so many that should be done too. Like honestly, Alien versus Predator much better as a comic book than the movies. Just gotta put it out there. Like I thought it would be like pretty much easy to do Alien versus Predator. Like, oh, it should be easy film to make. The comic was fantastic. I guess it's this like shooting fish in a barrel. I guess I was wrong. um, the one that I would love to see made, but but I don't think we're ever gonna get it, is Crossed. So for those that watched Walking Dead, Crossed is also a zombie comic. But if you're at all easily offended, don't even look at the cover of a crossed issue. Gonna gonna put that there. I used to read a lot of I would read a lot of superhero stuff, but I would find myself reading a lot of when Gladstone used to put out those Tales from the Crypt, like Haunt of like Vault of Fear, like all that type of stuff. I would used to Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, right? Yeah. So I used to get a lot of those. I used to read a lot of the Tales of Mystery and the House Mystery comics. You know, with Andrew Bennett, I Vampire, back in the day as well. I'm not sure if any of you guys were old enough to remember that character or not. But I think they redid him in the new 52. Actually, didn't work out as well though, because I remember there was Mary Queen of Blood. Swamp Thing's a kind of a great way for that. But if you've never read it, like, and most, I'm sure a comic fan you probably have, Sandman, like 1,000,000% read Sandman. 75 issues. Like, that's it. The 75 issues, full story. It's so well done. It does at the beginning cross over in the regular DC universe, but there is this incredible story in Sandman that I just love, and it's about a serial killer convention. It's a one issue, one and done story, but man, did I like that one. Has the secrets. I remember Warlock buying. I was reading Swamp Thing at the time, back when it was coming out, and I remember picking up the issue. I don't have it anymore. I wish I did. The Anatomy Lesson. Oh yeah, without those titles, without Karen Berger, wouldn't have happened. For those that are fans of Vertigo, check out Future Shock, the documentary. It's on the it's an amazing one on comic book in the UK. That pretty much housed all of the creators that would go on to start Vertigo. But yeah, I was a huge fan. If you've never read like Swamp Thing or you just read a little bit of it, uh, to the point where this is how much of a geek I am. I was watching a video and the guy was showing, I think it was near mint condition, and he was showing like Alan Moore Swamp Thing, and he says, there's Swamp Thing there, there's Alec Holland, and I'm like, might want to reread that. might want to reread that a bit. Hellblazer was amazing. Hellblazer started in Swamp Thing too. John Constantine's character Hellblazer started in Swamp Thing. Eventually was so popular, he got his own character. Then he got the Keanu Reeves movie, which I was not a fan of, and then we had the TV series, which I was very much a fan of. Pretty much because I did not picture Keanu Reeves as John Constantine. Although I love Keanu Reeves as like an actor, I like his work. I couldn't. I mean, like, there's a certain like style you got to have when you're John Constantine, and Reeves did not have that. And I kind of felt the same way when they put like the Spectre into the John Constantine series. Good actor, not good as a Spectre. Actually, it could have made a great Constantine. And he's a super nice guy. He's taller than I thought too, by the way. One of the guys that I met that actually gave me a hug. So I always like him for that. I actually do. I love the Swamp Thing film with Wes Craven, and I love the hell out of the Return of Swamp Thing. People don't get the fact that it's truly, it's comic booky. It really is comic booky, and some people are like, well, that's not serious as the Swamp Thing is, but it got the roots. It got the roots to what it was. Uh, but But yeah, and I thought the series was good too. I did like the series. The series was way darker than both of the films. When they decided, like, oh, we don't want to have a kid like kind of a sidekick in the Swamp Thing anymore. Let's sell them off to white slave traders, and then that'll be the end of it. Like you won't get saved or anything. We just sell them off to white slave traders. I think the least like Wes Craven movie, well, aside from like there's a couple like beside from Cursed, which I actually kind of didn't mind, and the what's the one about kind of all the kids were born on the same day, and I like that one too. Nobody else liked it. What is Deadly Blessing? And I do love Deadly Blessing. Yeah, and they did the neat thing when they did the TV adaptation of Preacher is they said, okay, we're going to do it, and we're going to start before the comic starts. I was very disappointed Derek Mears didn't get to do more with that. I heard some great things. I haven't got a chance to watch it myself yet either, Sierra. I actually got all six trades for Preacher over there in the. I'm actually looking at them right now. I got two little nieces too that I adore. Not little, one of them's like I think like 14 now. But I'm definitely trying to get both of them into the comic thing as well. Oh yeah, I haven't seen the last few episodes, so I don't know how Preacher goes at the end. But I'm still not finished Legion yet either, and I kind of dug the heck out of Legion for what I saw. But I was very disappointed that Hellstrom was canceled too. It's like Hellstrom never got a chance, man. And it was bittersweet. Considering the open, I'm not sure if they're going, how comic accurate they're going to go, but considering what happens in the comic, I can see it. It's going to be interesting to see because I'm not quite sure how far they got into it. Like, did they get past the comic, like when where the comic starts at? Because in the comic book, it starts with Tulip and Cassidy and Preacher just sitting down at a in a cafe talking, and they're kind of like flashing back on how things started to happen for him, how he started to change. Lord of Illusions would have made a great series with Harry D'Amour. You know what would have made a really good series? It hasn't made much TV actually. There's been a couple like miniseries and stuff like that. But I would love to have seen. I've love to seen Ecto Kid actually. There was Clive Barker back in the mid-90s did a line of comic books actually called Razor Line, where he made there's 3 or 4 comic books in the series. So it was back when everybody was making comic book series. So he made a comic book series called Razor Line. And it was a sub label of Marvel, but it's more meant to be more edgy. Oh, the Man Thing movie sucked ass. I got it. Like I love. Hey, Dustin, welcome back, man. I love Man Thing. Like the comic book Man Thing is really good. Like there's an analyst out there, and it pretty much collects pretty much everything for a Man Thing, I think. And it's not that expensive. Like it can get up pricey, but it does drop down every once in a while. I got the Morbius one, and I want to get the Man Thing one. So for those that don't know what the connection is that both Morbius and Man Thing got their start in Adventures in Fear comics, and they would both spin off to their own titles. Boom Studios Hellraiser comics are my favorite. That's where they put in like Christie as Hell Priestess, right? That I love that. I also recommend if you like Preacher by Garth Ennis. I dug it anyway, like his Punisher run. Like I know people like really dig the Punisher Max run that he did, but I liked his original Punisher run as well. I thought it was pretty good. House with Live Windows by Pupia. Yeah, Avita. Love that film actually, Mateo. How's that? If you've never seen it, definitely see it. If you've seen it, congratulations, you've seen a really freaking good movie. And that's a movie, by the way, that needs to get updated. That needs a really good release. I had the Shameless Screen Entertainment release, which is a DVD of it was put out in the UK, but I would love to see that get like a nice, cool, sexy Blu-ray or 4K release because it deserves it. But yikes, guys, with that being said, at 2 hours and 20 minutes, I want to thank you guys for coming in here to join me tonight. And I'm going to take 1 second here at the end of it to say, like, share, subscribe, and to pimp my merchandise channel, because why not, right? So this is the Call to Cinema. Watch people like run away. These are my featured products. The Futures Franco T-shirt is going away. Around about a month and a half ago, Spring, the company that I work with, upped the prices on their shirts, but I have not risen the prices on my shirts like I was supposed to. So the Futures Franco is one that I'm very proud of. That's a limited one till the end of the year, and we have some other things in there as well, including one that I thought was kind of comical. I think we've actually sold a couple of these. Everything But Evil Dies Tonight, Halloween 2021. So there you go. I'm actually very, very proud of it. I got a lot more than I'm working on right now. Anywho, I am Aaron. Thank you guys so much for coming to the College Cinema tonight. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the new subscribers to the Patreon. Dive in. Don't just look at the newer stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff to look at on the Patreon channel, and a lot more coming. Anywho, if I don't go soon, my better half's going to come looking for me. Jean Rollin shirt. If I can sell at least 3 Jess Franco shirts, I'll make a Jean Rollin shirt. I promise you. Yeah, my better half's going to wonder what happened to me. I am Aaron. You are the Cult of Cinema. You guys rock. As always, it costs nothing to be kind. So remember, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, because you deserve it. And right here in the Cult of Cinema, Robert, there's always another movie, and every once in a while, there's always another comic as well. See you guys soon, and have a great evening. Getting close to Christmas, guys. Keep that Christmas spirit.